though.
It's that sideways thing. Hello there. Welcome to Housing Debrief, episode 30. Oh, just a little bit more like this, I think, right? Perfect. I think this will be good. What do you think? Here we go. Maybe up a little higher.
Yeah, that's
Smidge.
Sure.
My producer, director, aka my better half, is helping me out like usual. Welcome to Housing Debrief, episode 30. I'm going to go ahead and get started. Yes, beautiful. Thank you, my lovely bride. I have two of the younger kids here, Mason Edward and Sunny, Athena Rose. Come on over, say hello really quick. Oh, I like your step stool. This is Athena, also known as Sunny because of her hair. And this is Mason. So, welcome to a 4th of July spectacular episode 30.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it. If you stick around at the end, you could say goodbye as well.
Okay. I have my steps.
So like 25 minutes, you want me to bring in?
Yes, please. Okay. So we're going to have a happy hour, more like a happy half hour, with questions and answers. So let's go ahead and get started. Quantitative economics and decision science major from UC San Diego, 29 years in the business, Orange County native, Capital Valley High School grad, 9 kids, avid runner. I brought 6, my wife brought 2. We had them all the time. I adopted her, she adopted mine. We had bonus guy. He's doing better with the potty training, Mr. Ezekiel Creed. Taking a nap right now. He'll probably be in here shortly because that's what he does. In the middle of my house and debrief, he wakes up. You will hear him off in the distance, then he'll come over. I've also been in the media as well, and Reports on Housing. That's our company. It's your local real estate snapshot, and it's really about diving in to the local scene of real estate. And most closed sales data refers to the past, and I know that June looked a lot better. I know it's not going to be as good as prior years. I know July is going to look even, it'll look on par or even better than prior years. And we'll have that data probably by the end of next week. Should start to be able to get some preliminary data for closed sales. Although it doesn't really look really good until the middle of the month, which is why they don't report until the end of the month. But I don't like to operate with closed sales data because May is the most recent one that we just got. And then June, we won't get for another couple weeks. But even June is a reflection of April and May, which things were starting to look better, but it's not yet going to be like what we're seeing right now with as many homes that we have in escrow. So I like to look out the front windshield and it's active listing inventory and the last 30 days worth of pending sales. That's what I call the velocity of the market, demand. So supply, inventory, demand, pending sales, and from that we get the expected market time. If you place your home on the market today, how long would it take for you to get into escrow? So with that kind of data, you can really build upon expectations of the marketplace, down to the city level, down to the price range level, and also for the county as a whole as well, if you're going to be traveling all around the county. And that's what the report dives into. So I have a report for LA, Orange County, San Diego, San Bernardino, Riverside counties. And I don't even know why I didn't do that. Seize the Day was the prior one. The one that just came out, I did this again on Tuesday. I updated everything else, forgot this slide. And this one is, the most recent one that came out on Monday is luxury returns, kind of like Superman Returns. I was doing like a superhero theme, and it's all about what's going on with the luxury market. Luxury market is better than it's been in years, and it's joined forces with the lower end of the marketplace. So you go to reportsonhousing.com, you click on subscribe, and I do have sample reports for you to take a look at. and it comes out every 2 weeks. We are just right now today crunching the numbers for San Bernardino Riverside. I will show you some of the highlights of what's going on the upper end for San Bernardino Riverside, like I did on Tuesday for OC, San Diego, and LA. But it comes out every 2 weeks. This week we crunch numbers for San Bernardino Riverside. Report comes out for San Bernardino Riverside at the beginning of next week, Monday. And then we'll crunch the numbers for OC, San Diego, and LA next Thursday. It's $15 per month, $150 per year. You get a month free if you sign up using the coupon code INDEPENDENCE. Happy Independence Day. I have an audience of one, by the way, Mason. I'd like to thank our incredible sponsor, Escrow Leaders. They have this slogan, I love it: we must be good servants to be good leaders. They're an independent escrow company regulated by the Department of Business Oversight. They have branches in both Orange and Riverside counties. They're here to serve you. And they have 16 escrow officers and 40 employees. Your client and money are safe with Escrow Leaders, and many layers of safeguards protect you, your money, your identity. They have always and always will continue to meet or exceed industry standards to keep you safe. And they're involved in their industry, associations, and dedicated to serving the communities. They walk the talk. I love that. And are actively involved in their community. They handle all types of escrows, and you can contact them today at 949-373-7000. That's 949-373-7000. And, oops, I don't know why I put that up there twice, but from the last episode, one more thing to edit. But I do have some updated summer photo fun. And here it is. Hard to believe our numbers are still spiking. I think the point of the shield is to stay behind it and to keep everybody protected. My car is a perfect metaphor for 2020. Looks like something's going on. I'm not saying this guy eating a banana with peel in a hot dog bun is right. I'm just saying after 6 months of 2020, I get it. Our ears have never been busier. It's true. I think I've done this. Let's just say I've hit some personal best during quarantine. 13.1 hours, my longest Netflix binge. 26.2 Oreos I can eat in one sitting. Gotta tell my wife to stop buying Oreos. They have the thin ones, makes you feel less guilty, so you grab a few. It's not as bad as the thick ones, and you grab a few, right? So, Southern California housing market, we're gonna dive right in. It is hot. I mean, it is incredibly hot. And the Southern California active listing inventory, this will show you where we are. As of last Thursday, we could go yesterday, June 25th, 28,230. That was down 5% in 2 weeks. Last year, we were at 44,379. That's 57% more than where we are today. That's the difference between this year and that last year. And the difference is growing. Today, we're at 27,079. So in a week, we've gone down another 4%. So we're going the wrong direction. We're headed down here, and the disparity between last year and this year is getting greater, and we're hitting levels that are unprecedented. And for all those people that were expecting the market to behave like it did during the Great Recession, the reason it didn't is because of this very reason. We don't have the inventory. We had way too much inventory back in 2006, 7, and 8, which is why prices just dove over 100,000 in all of Southern California. Now we have a quarter of that. So 27,079 is where we're at today. It's the lowest level, and I went backwards every single 2-week period since May of 2013. So that is how low the 27,079 is. So it's definitely the lowest July since I've been keeping numbers, but I went back and it's May of 2013. COVID-19 is still suppressing supply. That is the theme I've been carrying on. So COVID-19 is suppressing the number of homes that are coming on the market. Within the last 4-week period compared to the 5-year average, we're still down 21%. There's 21% fewer homes coming on the market compared to the 5-year average, and that has been ongoing. It started out 50% less, now it's 21% less, but it's still less when we need more homes on the market to satiate the appetite of where demand currently is right now. It is extremely dry. There's not, it is definitely a drought with not enough homes on the market. So it is a supply problem. We need more inventory, absolutely. So in contrasting that with housing demand and where it's at, housing demand and the overall housing market is extremely strong, and it's like super strength strong because of how low interest rates are. We did have a demand problem going into COVID-19, but everybody's got used to COVID-19. It's no longer has that shock factor. Yes, numbers are going up, but it's one of those things where we're no longer surprised. We know what we're dealing with, and it's no longer, we're kind of like a little bit immune to the fact that we're dealing with this COVID-19 virus. So it's no longer a demand problem. We can buy this little girl's lemonade with the proper PPE and gloves and all that stuff. So COVID-19 is not suppressing demand. It's just not doing it. And mortgage interest rates are one of the big reasons that is boosting the demand and boosting the overall market across the United States. It's not just Southern California. And this is what this came out yesterday. This is the Freddie Mac's survey of mortgage rates, and it's at 3.07%. Now, last week and the prior week was a tie, and that was the historical low. It was a record low. Well, 3.07% is going down further from 3.15, and now we're at a new historical low. So we've hit another new low. And that is the rocket fuel that is propelling the rocket, which is demand, which we saw just rocket upwards. And speaking of demand, this is where we are as of last Thursday. And if you draw a line across, you see that it is at a little over 20,000 pending sales for a 30-day period, and we've never been here before since 2012. That shows you how strong we are as far as demand is concerned. And this is how low we dropped down to during the middle of our spring market. It usually dips at the beginning of every single year. There's not a lot. When I do a 30-day snapshot at the beginning of January, we're looking backwards. It's all the holiday market. This is why demand drops every single year. This is spring, then it goes down. This is spring, then it goes down. This is spring. See the pattern? Well, this was the beginning of spring right here, and then we dropped down because of COVID-19, but we popped right back up and beyond, and this is where we're at right now. So that's why we're at this demand right here, but it's not going to continue to spike up because we do not have enough inventory. That is one of the issues, and also the capacity and everything else. There gets to be a point where this starts to trail off regardless of how many homes you place on the market, because there's only a certain number of buyers in the marketplace. But I do know it could go up a bit more with the amount of pent-up demand that is unable and unsuccessful at purchasing property. So this is where we are as of last Thursday, and a week ago Thursday. And June 25th, 20,155. It was up 11% in 2 weeks. That's this mark right here. It was a sharper rise, and this started to dissipate. You can see it's a little bit, kind of can see it. Last year we were at 16,605. That's 18% fewer than where we are today. That's the orange line. Today, when I took this is actually through Thursday, but when I snapped the numbers, it was at 20,570. That's up 2% from last Thursday. The rise is beginning to slow. I think next week it might be flat to maybe a 2% more, so it'll be a 4% rise. And that 20,570 puts it like right around here. So it's going to flatten out now. It's going to flatten out unless we get more homes in the market. And I just don't foresee that happening because we've had the same number come on the market, 20% less than the last 5-year average. So there's only that much capacity when you have a limited amount of product. So pending sales demand can only go so high. So it's the highest level right here since July of 2012. When I go backwards, I mean, it's every single month I look backwards. This number is the highest since July of 2012. And Southern California expect a market time year over year. So this is how quickly homes are selling now on average across all of Southern California. Of course, different price ranges behave differently, but this is by large the whole encompassed Southern California. So this is where we are, the expected market time prior to when we were in COVID-19 lockdown, and you can see that things have definitely improved. That's where we are today. A week ago, yesterday, we were at a 42-day expected market time. It dropped a week. That's from here to here in during that 2-week period. So the expected market time is dropping. You place your home on the market, the amount of time it takes to sell is dropping. SoCal last year was at 80 days. That's the orange line. 2017 was a phenomenal year, and we're below that line. And that is with having this exceptionally low inventory accompanied with exceptionally high demand, and it's putting us in unprecedented, uncharted waters right now for how hot the market currently is right now. Today, I take today's inventory that I was talking about and today's demand, and the expected market time is at 40 days. I can only see this dipping a little bit more down to about 39 days, and it's going to stop unless we place more homes in the market. And like I said, I just don't foresee that happening. It's the lowest level, that 40 days. It's the lowest level. It was at 42 days was the lowest level since tracking. 40 days is even lower. So we're setting new records since I started tracking the data back in 2012 for all of Southern California. And LA County is at 47-day expected market time, dropping 4 days in a week. Orange County is at 56 days. I'm sorry, that should say 46 days. That is my bad. It should say 46 days. It dropped 2 in a week. And Riverside County is at 34 days, dropping 2 in a week. And San Bernardino County is 30 days, dropping 3 in a week. And San Diego County is at 36 days, dropping 1 in a week. So Orange County is at 46 days, just know that. Slightly better than LA. So you can see all of these are hot, and these are exceptionally hot markets. So these are exceptional markets, and these are still really great markets. It's just if you're in San Bernardino and you have a 30-day expected market time for all of San Bernardino, that is a recipe for just an extremely speedy, high-velocity market where if you're a buyer, you've got to be ready. Got to be ready to go. LA, Orange County, Riverside, San Bernardino, San Diego County, all extremely hot. And it is like fishing with nets. This is the lower ranges, below 1 million, below for along the coast. Inland Empire is below 650,000. It is just off the charts, so busy. You price it right, it shows really well. It is going to garner multiple offers. That doesn't mean properties aren't sitting right now. There are properties that are sitting. Just understand that it all boils down to properly pricing. You can overprice your property and sit. And why? Because you're out of bounds. If you're out of bounds, you're not going to get enough. Buyers are smart. They're savvy enough to see everything that's coming on the market, and they'll say, that one's overpriced. I'm not purchasing it. So that's where that is at. So in the upper ranges, it's a bit more like fishing, and that means that it's not instantaneous. I still get this all the time where people expect instantaneous results. That's not going to happen in the upper ranges. And it's especially true for above 1.25 million in Orange County, LA, San Diego, or 1.5 in LA, and 1.25 San Diego and Orange County, and above 650 in Riverside County and San Bernardino. It just means that it's not instantaneous. It's still a very, very good market. It's just not as fast as the lower ranges. So you have to understand that. And the overall market, why is it so hot right now? Is because of the supply. I talked about it. Not enough supply, a lot of demand. It favors sellers, and prices are on the rise currently. So, really quick, I promised a market overview for Riverside County and for San Bernardino, and I want. Why does that say that? Looks like I did the wrong thing. So. I will have to do that on Tuesday for Riverside County, because this is the correct amounts, but it's the wrong price ranges. This is 650 to 8 to 1 million plus. So 650 to 8. This is what happens when you do this right beforehand, because this is for Monday's thing. But 650 to 8 to 1, and then this is what is it? 6 to 8 to 1, 1.5. I just have to fix that for Riverside. So apologize for that. Anyways, we'll fix Riverside, get that to you guys. But San Bernardino County, you can see the expected market time right now is at 85 days for the luxury market. It's still really good. It means, but you still need to pack your patience. 85 days is not instantaneous. 63 days is not instantaneous. but it's better than where we were during COVID-19 lockdown, 284 days, or prior best in 2020 in February, 121 days, or last year, 188 days at this time versus 85. 158 was the best last year versus 85. Do you see how awesome it is? Same thing going on in OC, San Diego, Los Angeles, and Riverside. We'll get that on Tuesday, fix the chart. Then we got COVID-19. Gotta talk about COVID-19. I was gone on RV trip and was barely like focusing in on what was going on and unplugging from the news as much as I possibly could. And I was pretty devastated when I got back because things were making a turn for the worse. I just didn't like how we were hanging. And then from that hang, it went the wrong direction. And here's where we're at right now. For the world, 10.9 million. It's going to hit 11 million momentarily, any minute now. And this is the world. And you can see this is the 7-day moving average, and it's going way the wrong direction. And it is right now at 180,000 per day. That's the 7-day moving average. And it's just been increasing because that's 180. Back here, this is when we were dealing with COVID-19 initially and things started to flatten out. We thought we were in a good place. It was averaging 80,000 per day. Now it's at 180,000 new cases per day. And this is the United States getting close to 2.8 million. And if you look at LA, they're number 2. Remember how I told you they surpassed Cook County? Now they've so surpassed Cook County. I'm sure you can't see how tiny these numbers are, but it's at 92,000 versus 108,000. That's Cook County's at 92, 108,000. So we're at exactly half of where New York was or is right now. They're not adding as many cases as we are. So we don't have the same capacity problems in Los Angeles as they did in New York City, which is why they had a major problem in New York. So, but I do want to point out they're the number 2 most impacted county in the United States. And as far as the United States is concerned, 45,350 cases per day is the 7-day moving average. You understand the last 2 days we went plus 50. And in Florida alone, they did 10,000 and hit a new record. So us too, we were right at 6,500. So, but there you go. That's where we're at. We're at 45,350, and that 7-day moving average is continuing to climb. I think Fauci said the way that we're on track right now, if we don't wear masks and all that stuff, no, that's what he's thinking. That we could definitely reach 100,000 cases per day. And it's just, and you've probably seen this chart a lot in the news, and it's something that I wanted to bring to, it was my attention and to everybody else's attention. This is the curve in the European Union. This is the curve in the United States. So you can see they beat the curve, and if you look, they're doing a lot of celebrating because they have contact tracing. They have so many few numbers that are testing positive that once they have a test positive, they can go chase after it. We have way too many. When you have 50,000 cases, you can't do contact tracing. We now have to beat the curve, and those numbers have to come down in order for them to do some contact tracing. So there's just too many people to do the proper contact tracing, and that's why they're able to open up a lot more. And they're able to sit and you're seeing people in like Germany sitting in restaurants and music playing and all that stuff. We needed to probably be a little more mindful, wear a mask, and get those numbers down so that we could properly contact trace and everybody could be mindful and we can hit those target spots. But that's not the direction that we're going in the United States. This is the cases per million inhabitants, and we were further down this list. We were like 9th, then we were 7th, now we're 4th. And this is because of the number. Now it's per cases per million, we're at 8,200. Only Chile, Kuwait, and Peru are more impacted than us. Everybody talks about Brazil, but they're further down on this list compared to us. Brazil is actually a pretty giant, large country. So just understand that we are definitely going in the wrong direction currently right now as far as this chart is concerned. This is another chart that I was bringing up before. The threshold that we want to be is at 5% or less. Really, you want to be below 5%, like 3%, and that's where a lot of these other countries are, like Germany. Some of them have like 0.5% or 1%, and that's why they're able to just jump all over that person who tests positive and find out everybody that they're around. And we kind of did that when we very, very initially had problems here in California where it all started. And when they did contact tracing, they're going, oh wow, we got a pretty good program going there. But then now when you have this kind of capacity problem, we have way too many people testing positive. And where's it at right now? It's at 8.3% positive. Remember, we were getting down towards that 5%, that threshold where contact tracing is really kicks up a notch. But when you're at 8.3%, that's too high of a number. You need to get below 5%, which means out of all the testing we're doing, we're getting way too many positives right now. And you look back, it was all the way up above 25%, way back in the day. 25% of all tests were positive, so that's not very awesome. So COVID-19, where positive tests are spiking in the United States, Arizona's at 24.4%, Florida's at 15.6%, Alabama, Nevada, Texas. I mean, you could see these are all well above 10% or 10%. Utah's at 10.9%. So they're not testing enough. And where do they need to be testing? I said 750, but with how big the problem is right now, it's there are the leading scientists, and I'm not even a leading scientist, they're saying anywhere between 900,000 to 1 million tests per day to get a proper grip on this thing. So that's what they're talking about. And as far as California is concerned, we're right now at about 6% positive rate, which is above that 5% threshold. And we've been pretty diligent, but it hasn't done anything to our curve. If you look at this, we have 247,000 cases. We're averaging just under 6,500 cases per day. That's the 7-day moving average. It's going the wrong direction also. This doesn't look like Euro nations or anywhere else either. Understand this. We're at what, 6,500? With a combined population of 2.6 billion people. China, Japan, Korea, Vietnam, Thailand. Thank you, my beautiful lovely wife.
Not what you think it is, like head issues.
I don't have a beer, so my wife, my beautiful director and producer, brought me a wonderful cocktail. But anyways, China, Japan, Korea, Vietnam, Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, the Philippines, Australia, and the European Union, all combined, 2.6 billion people had 6,760 new cases on average for the last 7 days. And what did we have? We had almost 6,500. So we have a much smaller population. So that just shows you where we could be on the other side of the curve, and it's not anywhere close to where we are in California or many, many spots in the United States. Look at Texas, 10,000 cases in a day. So California county cases, 108,000 in LA. They're number one as far as the most impacted county in the in California. They're number two in the United States. 18,700 in Riverside County. Orange County and San Diego County are duking it out right now. I've been watching those numbers. They've been going back and forth. And San Diego has 15,200. OC has 15,000. And then San Bernardino has 13,100. So you can see the most impacted counties are the most populous counties, and that's Southern California counties. And let's talk about unwinding the, opening up the economy and what the issues are at this point. This is Dr. Ashish Jha, director of the Harvard Global Health Institute, which everybody's looking at those maps and all that stuff. Well, we may be done with the pandemic, but the pandemic is not done with us. I thought that this really brought it home. I mean, as Americans, we like to move on. We definitely like to move on. However, this is one of those cases where we can't. We simply cannot move on. We can't move on because there's this virus, and it doesn't care whether we want to continue to move on or not. It is going to continue to play a role in our society until we have some sort of a virus. I mean, vaccine virus. We have a virus. And then as far as this week, Newsom came out on Wednesday, talked about different sectors to close indoor operations, and that's restaurants mainly. Restaurants is the main one that anybody's been going to. I don't know that many people have been going to movie theaters. Wineries and tasting rooms, family entertainment centers, zoos and museums, card rooms, bars must close all operations. And it's pretty much all Southern California counties, Imperial County, which is heavily affected as well. San Diego's not on this list. But I will tell you, here in Orange County, I know that the beaches in Huntington Beach, Newport Beach, Seal Beach, and Laguna Beach, so it's pretty much everywhere, and Dana Point, their beaches are closed. And parking is closed for all along the coast for state parking lots. But I only know really one beach in Orange County. I'm not going to name it because I don't think everybody should go there. I'm going to stay home in my house and just play with my family and pretend there's fireworks. I think we have some sparklers. Don't tell anybody that it knows a fireman or something, you know. We're just going to go in our backyard and do a few sparklers. This is Los Angeles. This is hospitalizations. This is why we're going in this direction, because hospitalizations are going in the wrong direction. This is suspected cases. This is actually confirmed cases. You could see this is going the wrong direction over a 2-week period. The numbers are staggering across Southern California. Orange County, same issue. This is going in the wrong direction. This is Riverside County. Doesn't do it as justice, but that's because of the way that they did this, and they scrunched and spread it out. But if you scrunch it together, it doesn't look good over the last 2 weeks. Their hospitals are pretty much impacted. Same with San Bernardino. Their hospitals are impacted. This, when you crunch it together, this is what happens. You can see, this is what it looks like. This is all of pretty much June. You can see how it's going the wrong direction. This is hospitalizations, which so many people talk about. I know that the numbers are going up, but what about hospitalizations? This is hospitalizations. And then we have San Diego. This is a funky looking chart, but it too has some issues with hospitalizations, but they have other things under control. I think it's their COVID-19 testing. And then look at this. This is from Goldman Sachs stated this. A national mask mandate could save the US economy $1 trillion. That's what their economists are saying. That if we actually used a mask, and I showed that on Tuesday, you use a mask and the curves go, they go down like crazy. So use a mask. That's really what it's about. Use a mask. Because I'm afraid, and so is so many other people, of if we slip into a W recovery, because we're already starting to see everything starting to rise slowly, except for housing, fast, but everything's starting to rise. But then if things get out of hand, it goes the other direction again. And then it goes further than where this bottom was, and then it makes it worse than what we have right now, and it impacts business and economies even better, to a bigger degree. $1 trillion worth. That's pretty huge. So macroeconomic outlook, and then we'll get into the Q&A section, but I wanted to talk about jobless claims. This looks like we're going the right direction, but I want to show you historically what this means. This right here is, I think it's at like 1.5 million new unemployment claims last week. And the insured unemployment is right now at 19.29. It actually went up from the prior week, but just slightly. But this is what I like to show you. So this is where we were. That initial unemployment claims were awful, and they've slowly but surely come down to here, and this is where we're at right now. That's still not good. Go back in history, and even though it's looking better on that last chart, let's do it historically. Initial unemployment claims, that looks still ugly. So we're still getting some new unemployment, some churn. We do have, and then continued unemployment claims, same thing. So this right here, what I talked about at that just about 20 million level, you draw a line across, and we haven't been here before either since the Great Depression. But we have to understand, this is a totally different asterisk. It wasn't brought on by another industry. There's a lot of people coming back into the job force, and there are gains in the overall number of. There's 4.77 million jobs that were brought on in the month of, I believe it was the month of May. So, but understand that mainly leisure and hospitality. So we have people that are coming back to work, wholesale and retail. That makes sense. We have positive gains, and it totals 4.77 million jobs. So that's a plus to what's going on. It's absolutely beat expectations, but you see, that's because we were coming from such a negative place and we're going up. And this is the unemployment rate. Unemployment rate currently is at 11%. It's just above the height that we had during the Great Recession, but it has been coming down. It will continue to come down as we get more jobs that are coming online. But it also, big asterisk, what happens with COVID-19 right now. So, and an MBA purchase application index. So this is up 15% year over year, but the big up is now starting to dwindle. It's down for the last 2 weeks, the going from week to week. It was this positive gain. Now it's up 15% year over year. Still, it's really strong. You want to make sure that it sustains that up year over year, and as long as it does that, it will be in a good spot. So, but you could see that there's only a certain number of apps that are being pushed through, and part of the issue is there's not enough new inventory coming on to antagonize a little bit more MBA purchase applications. So, and this is the St. Louis Financial Stress Index, and it's starting to go the wrong direction. You need to be below zero, and you need to be there for a while, and we were there, and then for 3 straight weeks it's been going up. And the reason it's been going up, and this has to do with a whole bunch of different parameters that this thing follows, but just understand that when it starts to rise, it's because they're starting to get worried about the pandemic at this point. So that's why we're getting a bit of an increase in above zero. We want to see this thing go back down. We're going to have to get a handle on this virus as well. So this is something we'll be continuing to watch. And this is the consumer confidence. Actually, consumer confidence has increased, but understand, remember, it came from a bottom, and oh, there we go. Slight interruption. Sorry about that. So, anyways, it is going up, but understand it has a bit to go. It is confident compared to where we were like in 2013, but not where we were at the beginning of this year. So there's a lot of room for growth there, and we need to see it continue to go up. So,
sorry,
my screen went blank. That's funny. Love technology. So, reportsonhousing.com. That's our company. That's our website. You go there, hit subscribe. You get a month free if you sign up using Independence as your coupon code. Happy Independence Day. And we do have sample reports. All those people that are texting me or calling me or emailing me and saying, hey, can I get a sample report? Sure. Just go to reportsonhousing.com, sample report. And I want to thank Escrow Leaders for being our sponsor. Love it. We must be good servants to be good leaders. They're an independent escrow company regulated by the Department of Business Oversight. They have branches in Orange and Riverside counties. They're here to serve you. And 16 escrow officers, 40 employees. Your clients and money are safe with Escrow Leaders. They have plenty of safeguards and protections to protect everybody. And they're very involved in the association level and the community level. They walk the talk. I love that. We try to do that with our children and are actively involved in their community. So they handle all types of escrows. Contact them today, 949-373-7000. And now it is time for cocktail Q&A. What is the new report going to look like? Can you share a sample? So there's a new report that's coming out not this coming up Monday, but the following week, and that is kind of a new design that we're looking at, making the charts look a little bit more professional, more presentable, and something we've been working on for quite some time. And the overall look and feel is going to have a better look and easier to follow as well. So we've been working on that for a little bit, and we're unveiling it right now. Happy summer, and so that will be coming on for Orange County, San Diego, and Los Angeles on the 13th of July. And you know, that'll happen like in 5 seconds, because that's how this lockdown is going. Stephen, how long do you see COVID-19 lasting for? Gosh, I really wish. It's over with tomorrow after this drink. Cheers. No, there are, my take on it.
You're not medical.
Oh yeah, I'm not medical. My take on it is we just all need to wear our masks and listen to the experts. I'm going to rely on the experts. So they're the ones that are telling us kind of what to do. I'm not going to listen to as many other people other than actual scientists that are geeky nerds. You know, like when you want to talk about housing data, who do you go to? You can come to me. You can go to Logan Modeshami. You can go to people that actually know a lot about the data side of housing. But if you want to know exactly what you should do in a pandemic, I think pretty much the scientists are the ones that are going to be able to answer that. That's what I think. What do you forecast for the rental market? Landlords want to know. Well, there definitely is going to be a bit of an impact as we do this churn. So as there are some people that become unemployed after the unemployment benefits, they trail off. But I understand that there's a wait and see thing. Congress is on recess until the middle of July. Then they're going to come together. I think the first thing they're going to be working on is a bill so that they can bridge that gap, because it looks like that bridge is going to need to be longer than originally anticipated. I think it's going to have to get us to September, and hopefully we can be as mindful as possible and everybody starts wearing masks. There's lots of mandates coming out. You got California, you got Arizona, you got Texas coming online. More and more states are mandating the use of masks, so that hopefully that will curb the COVID-19, so that people can go back to work and people really feel confident in the economy. Why do we care so much about COVID-19? Because a lot of us won't consume and be out there freely unless we feel confident that we're not going to get sick. And with numbers going where they're at right now, I don't want to sit in a movie theater. I don't even want to sit in my church service. I will continue to do all that stuff online. It's a comfort level from person to person, but you have to understand it impacts the economy when we're going down this direction, which is why we follow COVID-19 so closely. What did I forget? Riverside luxury, 1 to 1.15 million. How long days on market? Oh, Brent, I don't have it off the top of my head. I'll have to get it. It'll come out in this Monday's report, so stay tuned for that. And I can always offline answer your question. So sorry, I can't do that off the top of my head. I'm 51 years old and my brain cells don't work completely. Ask my wife. So really, I think the rental market is doing a lot better. You need to really talk to your clients. I think it'll continue to do well until the unemployment benefits subside, and at that point we could start to see that there will be some issues. Wife is a nurse, please wear a mask. The worst thing we ever told the American public was masks protect other people. Yeah, they did all that stuff at the very beginning, and because they had a problem with masks, and even the government was coming out saying, yeah, you don't need a mask, and then, just kidding, we were just saying that just so that you wouldn't go out and buy masks because we had a mask problem. So everybody got, that kind of confused everything. I love that. Thank you, David. Yes, I will wear a mask for people like your wife and everybody else in the front lines. What dialogue would you use for stalling buyers in Orange County? For stalling buyers in Orange County? Oh, what dialogue? I would just continue to show them the trend with the expected market time. I mean, they've got to continue to be hungry to purchase based upon where historical low mortgage rates are. Mortgage rates are so low. Something else that I was talking about is, you notice when mortgage rates get this low that the amount of principal that you're paying down on a monthly basis actually increases because the interest rate is so much less. So when that happens, it is such a good thing to lock in with low interest rates. So it's really just showing them where interest rates have been, where they are right now, how hot everything is right now, understand that they just have to be patient, pull the trigger, get the right home, and that's how I would continue to keep them engaged in the marketplace. Let's see. 2 questions. What is holding sellers back, resulting in low supply? Gosh, I wish I knew that completely. One of the reasons is the number of, some people have held off on doing on listing their homes and doing anything at all together. Some people said there's going to be this pent-up supply of homes, and I was beginning to scratch my head going, it sounds more like a demand thing. When there's pent-up demand, it's because interest rates are so low that all of a sudden you want to get out there and do it. What's holding them back is a little bit of uncertainty is holding them back. A little bit of, there's not a lot out there to purchase. So if you place your home on the market, where are you going to go? We've heard that for a long time during all this spell, especially when everything got really low in 2013. We're having the same issue again because these are like 2013 look and feel of the marketplace. So a lot of people are hesitating coming on the market, which is why what my suggestion is, you let people know, you know what, you can actually purchase a home and purchase it subject to you finding a home. So I think that has a bit to do with it. If COVID rate continues to raise, and the government, I can't see the rest of this.
Which one are you looking at?
Roberts.
If COVID rates continue to rise and the governor shuts down Like March 19th, will values and activity as it pertains to RE mimic the waterfall we experienced in March, April?
Here's why I don't believe it will, Robert. I don't think that we'll get the waterfall if we have another shutdown, because we are one of the essential services, A. B, we've already adapted to working in this kind of a market. And because we've done that, and the shock value, C, we're not, when we first went into this, it was like, holy cow, this is totally uncharted water. Nobody remembers a pandemic. You have to be like really old, and at that point you're like, hand me my gin and tonic. I mean, so we don't remember a pandemic. So originally it was a shock. Now it's no longer a shock to the system. We've kind of been used to engaged in constantly hearing it, constantly going through it. So it won't be such a oh my gosh, where do we go from here? Because there's still buyers that are engaged. They're hoping that if that happens, that there'll be something to pounce on. I just don't foresee it contributing to any kind of a waterfall effect like we saw in March and April. Thanks for the Friday update. Happy 4th to you and your family. Enjoy the sparklers. Shh. I know you look at the 6 million plus market segment. Any sense of the super high end 10 million plus? Yeah, it's not as bad as it was. And I was surprised with the number of escrows above 4 million for San Diego, Orange County, and Los Angeles. I mean, it actually surprised me. And above 10 million, I actually saw more within that range as well. You just have to know, when you're dealing with 10 million plus, at that point, it is really boils down to there's not that many fish in the sea that are swimming and going, yeah, I'm looking for a $10 million house. So the velocity of that market is so extremely slow. It will never speed up like what we're seeing in the rest of luxury. When I'm talking about the rest of luxury, tongue-tied, that's that $2 to $4 million. That's actually a really good segment, and there seems to be a lot more fish in the sea looking for 2 to 4 million. I was trying to put my finger on exactly what it is. Part of it is a lot of these people have their money tied up in certain places, and they can get their hands on really low interest rates, and they're also looking, I don't know, even I think that we all are done a little contemplating. Is this the house that I want to be in? Does it have that office? Does it have the bigger yard? Does it have this place for me to go hide? Does it have a man cave? There's so many things that this has done where it's made us think, home is very important to me. And so I even think that happens with the luxury market as well. I mean, you can be sitting in a beautiful home that's $2.5 million in, let's say, Laguna Beach, and you just don't have that big of a lot. Now you want a lot. Now you're spending you're spending money on a $5 million house so you can get a bigger lot. I mean, that's where the velocity can come from. I just don't have the ability to go out there and survey everybody to find out exactly what it is. I haven't put my finger on it, but those are the things that I think could be going on out there. And then happy 4th. Thank you, Cindy. Nice. Wear masks and stay put. Steve, I have 4 fly face masks for sale, FYI. Thank you, Cindy. Clients want homes to be perfect to show. Do you recommend they hold off to fix up minor items? I think that they do have time. I don't say hold off too long. I say get it done and get it on the market by the end of this month. I think that the market will be good through mid-August. Usually it's just through the end of July. When those kids start going back to school, and my kids start going back to school, our kids, mid-August?
When are they going back to school though? Like when August, September school time comes.
So you have to be closed. But you can, I think that people will sneak it and they'll say, I'll do August. They're doing some online learning, so you can get away with a bit. So, you can close into September. But I'm saying that hard stop date of when you need to be in escrow is probably mid-August. So the sooner you get it on, and if you get it on, by the end of July, that better be priced right. You don't want to be stretching value either. Do you think rates will continue to trend lower? How low can they go? Gosh, it all has to do with the appetite of investors too on this, like the people that are going to be, because if we go back down further, we can get the 10-year treasury going down even further, and that typically means the 30-year mortgage comes down. However, I don't think that might happen because the appetite for people to service the loan loans it's going to be a little bit less because they're going to be a little bit skittish about the market too, wondering, gosh, can this lead to foreclosures and I'm hanging on to somebody that's not paying and I've got to make these payments. There's this secondary market thing that I don't think that they can go much lower than 3%. I could be wrong. I've been wrong many times as far as interest rates are concerned, which is why I follow Logan Mohtashami. That's Mohtashami. Follow him on Facebook. He's got a lot more to say about interest rates, and he is my professor on interest rates. I wouldn't want a bunch of strangers walking through my home right now. That is a very good point. There's another answer. 1 out of every 5 people don't want to place their home on the market right now because they don't want people to come through their house, because then they have to disinfect it. Would you like to have people come in through our house, my love?
No.
My wife just said no. So I just did a survey of one homeowner, and I do what my wife says because I love her.
I mean, I would do a virtual tour.
We would do virtual tours and things like that. Maybe you get somebody so excited that I have to see it, I'm going to write an offer.
But then I would be like out of the house for the hour after they show.
And you can get it professionally cleaned. There are professional cleaning services that come around and clean it. So it's up to us to probably present that to homeowners to let them know what can be done after
Leave
showing.
all windows open, ventilate good.
Yeah, my wife has some great advice on how to sell your home. You should speak to her, because she is the general public that's going, yeah, I wouldn't want anybody through my home, but if you do this, yes. So what else do we have here? Cocktail Q&A is missing Frank Sinatra music in the background and Stephen holding his cigarette.
Cigarettes are bad for you.
Yeah, icky. Here's plenty. Better to buy, sell before or after election. I don't think the election's really going to have an impact on the housing market. I have a lot of data that goes back to 2012. I have in Orange County data that goes back to 2004, and elections don't do anything to the data. But you'll hear lots and lots of stories where that's what it'll say. I haven't seen it in the data. Could happen this time, but I doubt it. So. I don't think that bears any, should you go before or after, anything like that. Let's see. Well, thank you. I agree. Home is the first place, is where all I want to be. Yes. Any other good or bad time for investors to jump in? Yeah, just depends upon how quickly it could flip. I think owning real estate is always a good thing. If you're an investor with cash, that's a different story, because now you're holding up your cash. But if you are an investor that has loans, couldn't be a better time to leverage your money with interest rates being so low. So that's the direction I would go. Investment-wise, as far as cash is concerned, I probably would be doing that flip type of method. I think there's enough juice in this marketplace with interest rates being low that you can do an adequate job of flipping, but there's just not a lot of inventory. So some of the stuff that's been hanging on the market for quite some time right now, which there are properties across Southern California that are sitting on the market in all kinds of price ranges, those are the ones that you want to pick up. Just understand, it might not just be the home, it could be the location of the property, some other things that you can't fix, like power lines or backing to a busy street or things like that. So just be cognizant of what the investment looks like. But Mr. Jeff Moss, you are a professional, so I know you know the answers to all that stuff. I defer to you. What is his name again? Teresa, it is
Somebody answered.
Oh, did they?
Logan Mohtashami.
Logan Mohtashami. Thank you, somebody. The guy on Facebook to follow. Yes. How far behind? We have many more rentals now in beach cities than in previous years, Airbnbs, etc. I wonder if inventory has been, can't read the rest.
Significantly affected by the increase in rentals.
No. No, I wish some of those would turn to, rather than rentals, that they would turn to actual homes that are listed for sale. So my whole thing was, along the coast, I was not that concerned about Airbnbs, that people would say, yeah, I have to sell, I can't. But I heard Airbnbs, the numbers are going up because they can stay at one place. It's kind of like an RV that we rented. You could stay in one spot and you're not in your house, you're someplace else. I don't know, if you do enough disinfecting and all that stuff, it might be something fun to do. I don't know. I'd have to ask my wife. But Yeah, I don't see it as an issue. I don't see it really changing much of the marketplace right now. I think it looks like I got to the end. And look, I did it 25 minutes. So thank you very much for staying tuned with me. I appreciate it. And everybody, happy Independence Day. Happy 4th of July. Enjoy it. There's plenty of great fireworks shows on television. And just enjoy it with being with your family, with those significant others that are inside of your own house. And just be mindful that there's a virus out there. Let's all do our bit, wear a mask. So I just want to say thank you very much for joining me. We'll see you on the other side of the weekend, and have a fantastic weekend. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.